So we are live. Why did I do that? Why? I said to myself, don't sing, don't sing. So welcome to the very first Woman on a Mission Live. What is the story behind it? It's all about good conversation with really inspiring, lovely people, just sharing a little bit about their life and what inspires them, what motivates them. Hello.
Hi, I made it.
Oh,
Sorry.
you got the memo.
Yes, sorry, I'm interrupting you. You carry on.
No, I was just saying about what this conversation is going to be about. And I'm so chuffed that you're here with me live. It's really echoing here, I'm sorry. So yes, it's basically 5 questions with a wonderful person, such as yourself, introducing, I guess, the person behind the account, what makes you tick, what makes you do things that you do, and yeah, just inspiring conversation with people that I love following. So
Claire, that bar is very high with all this talk of inspiration and what have you.
Oh, no. I've known you a long time now, and I can safely say.
No, thank you so much for having me as well. You know, it's always so lovely to be asked, and thank you to the people who've joined as well.
I know.
Thanks ever so much.
Do let us know where you are from and yeah, where you're watching today. Are you watching on your lunch hour? Are you watching at home? Let me know where you are. So, Antonia.
Hello.
From Tailor Made Living store. We've known each other a little while now, which is brilliant. So what I have for you today is 5 questions. Okay.
Yeah.
We put a little question sticker out over the weekend saying, what do people want to know more about you?
Oh gosh.
I know.
I hope
they're all fine.
Oh dear.
They are all fine, and you'll be fine. So let's start with a really easy one. Can you please tell us a little bit about the story behind Tailor Made Living? Where did it start?
Yeah, so well, there are many threads that feed into the brand and the business that we are today. So there's all sorts of things really. I think what really pushed me over the edge was that I saw a gap in the market. So in my local area, I just thought, I really want this sort of shop, and it doesn't exist, and I'm having to travel out of the area. So that was kind of one of the big factors that I thought, well, actually, I think I can make this work. Then there are things like childhood dreams of playing shop. Also wanting to work for myself. I think from a very young age, I always felt that I wanted to be my own boss. It took me quite a time to get there. I mean, I was in my mid-30s, I think, when I thought, right, I'm going to make a go of this. So it was quite a long process until, you know, and I've turned 40 in business. But yeah, so I just always had, I don't know, I just always felt that I should be working for myself, and you know, I'm happy that
Very empowering, isn't it?
Sorry?
Really empowering.
It is. I mean, it's, you know, the dream doesn't feel like you think it's going to. So, you know, like sometimes people say, oh, you know, it's so great you had this dream and you followed it and now you're living it. And yeah, like a lot of it is amazing. But, you know, on the other hand, there are things like you never take a day off, you never properly go on holiday, all of those kind of things that, you know, don't feel so dreamlike. But
the conversation about the business carries on regardless of whether you're in the same time zone or not.
Exactly. So sorry, I digress though. So there was that kind of definitely spotting a gap in the market within my local area, because I don't know if everybody knows, but we're bricks and mortar and we're online, and we have an all singing, all dancing app as well.
Which is amazing.
So we do both strands. And then also, as I say, there was this kind of pursuit of something that I thought I could do. And then feeding into that is I was born and raised in Menorca in the Mediterranean, in the Balearic Islands. And, you know, I mean, I'm 42 now, and it was a very different place when I was growing up. So everything was very small, all the shops were very local, you knew all the shopkeepers, a lot of care was taken when you bought a product.
Yeah.
And I suppose I've carried that romantic notion of a small business with me. And then of course there's all the aesthetic, in terms of, you know, like we're not a Mediterranean fairground, if you know what I mean. We're not like a kind of Mediterranean theme shop, but that kind of ethos of, you know, beautiful things and some of the colours that feed through and the natural materials, that's all very much a part of who we are and what we do. So yeah, so is that any clear?
No, it really is. And what I love about your store, and I love your, got my candle in the background.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I saw that. Nice bit of product placement. Thank you.
Is I have to ration myself because it is so beautiful that I could have it on or lit all day, every day, and I'm like, no, special.
I know. Oh,
but
you
know what I love about your store and about your products is that I know that your touch has come through in the products.
Yeah.
And we've always had this thing, haven't we? This conversation about, you know, if you're going to enjoy a nice cup of coffee or a decent cup of coffee, and you're going to take time out of your day, you might as well enjoy it in.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I've completely gone against that by saying that I save my candle for best, and I shouldn't. but yeah, it's enjoying the little aspects of life with lovely things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, don't break the bank.
For me, it's very much about kind of that elevating those, you know, everyday moments, that kind of thing that is very mundane, like getting up and, you know, making your cup of tea or coffee or whatever, and having it in a, you know, nice coffee cup, or, you know, you're going to have your glass of wine, well, make your room smell nice at the same time, because, you know, we don't live rock star lives, do we? And you do only get one chance at this. Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying, you know, like the, you know, it's always, I feel like life just happens in the small moments, you know. It's easy to kind of think, well, I want to travel and I want to go to this place and that, you know, and do this, and but, or, you know, often the moments that are special are just those, you know, very small mundane things. It's like, you know, sitting on the sofa with your child, or, you know, cuddling your dog. I'm looking at my gorgeous dog at the moment, fast asleep, and I'm just thinking, yeah, that's where the magic is in the everyday.
Outside, actually, I was like,
yeah, so
it's definitely about those precious moments, and you know, that you don't realize that those moments are big or small until they become a memory and you look back. We were talking this morning actually about how quickly this year has gone. And
gosh, yeah.
My husband was like, well, we spent the first 3 months in lockdown. It's like, oh my God, yeah, that is kind of part, you know? So yeah, and that's what I love about tailor-made living is that it's the very essence of, you know, enjoying the everyday luxury without the you know, the crazy price tags.
That's it. And, you know, for us, I mean, I personally select all of our products and put the collections together, so it's very much a curation of, you know, what I think our customers are going to love, but it's always with the intention that you will, you know, love something for a long time.
Yeah,
you will enjoy gifting it. You know, for me, a lot of it is taking the hard work out of it for you, you know, kind of doing the legwork, and you know, the color palettes are quite neutral often, with like little pops of color, but the idea is that it will fit seamlessly into your life. So whether it's a, you know, a home accessory or, you know, some clothing, it's just the kind of thing that, you know, like, yeah, it works with my interiors, yes, it works with my wardrobe. So that's what we do. Sorry, that was rather a long answer, wasn't it?
No, it is brilliantly executed, so thank you very much. Right, question number two. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned this year? What's the biggest kind of light bulb?
Oh gosh,
that sums up 2021.
That's really, really hard.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So this is probably a bit of a cliche, but it's that
cliches are good. They're cliches for a reason, aren't they?
Because they're true, yes. I was having this conversation with my kids yesterday. So I think it's that giving yourself the time, which is not always easy. I think particularly as well for women, you're just like, on autopilot all the time. So you're like, I've got to do this, I've got to go there, and I've got this going on, and you don't give yourself the time. So give yourself the time and space to like really look back and think about what's happened or where you're at. Or so just to give you a very tangible example, which actually relates to what you just said about lockdown. So, and this is just like a business thing, but at the beginning of 2021, I said to myself, okay, we turned over this much in sales, and next year this is my target. So I set myself a target, and we're nearly there. It's a bit like maybe we will, maybe we won't, but if we don't, we'll get within a whisker of it. But it was a completely arbitrary figure that I just plucked out of thin air and just went, this is going to be my goal for 2021. And I couldn't have been putting myself under pressure to get there. How can we get more sales and all this kind of thing, marketing this, whatever. And then I was away at the weekend, and I just thought, we were actually closed for the first quarter of 2021. So although we are online, it's not the same as having all levers in your business working at the same time. So then I just thought, oh my God, this target sorry, I just realised my phone's falling. This target that was
you froze. I was like, no, don't go.
I'm just going to have to hold on to it. I've set myself this arbitrary target for the year, and I've been working towards it without giving a thought or sitting down and going, actually, what's really happening? Oh, yeah, we were closed for a whole quarter. So, maybe I don't need to feel bad if we don't get there at the end of the year. So I suppose my lesson is that, yes, have goals, but also don't be afraid to recalibrate, to reassess, and to shift those goals if you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been having the same conversation with my kids actually about GCSE. We're in the middle. We are deep, dark in the midded of mocks at the moment. The A-level mocks have just finished.
Yeah.
GCSE mocks started.
Yes,
today.
exactly the same in this house.
God. And I said to the kids, it takes a very brave and strong person to say, actually, what I thought was the right path for me isn't. And it's so good to have the strength and the courage to turn around and change your mind about the course, change your mind about the path that you want to take in life. And full credit to everyone that does that. That's brilliant. I really want them to understand that it's a good thing to turn around and say it's not the right thing. Oh, I'm going to put that ball over there for a minute. I'll pick it back up when I can. Because quite often we feel like we've started on this mission and I've got to carry on because I said
absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
That's
absolutely true. And I think my other lesson, and I can't say I've learned it, I'm just working on it, is that taking time off and taking time out to kind of get the creativity flowing again, to rest, that whole you can't pour from an empty cup. But I think we're all very good at talking about needing space, giving yourself time, self-care, etc., but the saying and the thinking and the doing are very far apart. So I know I just don't give myself enough time, or even just to think, and it's so important. So can't say it's a lesson I've learnt, but it's something I'm working on.
That's why I really enjoy my walks in the morning. And I know some people just go, she goes again, there's another sunrise. But and my little gratitude spot, but it just gives me that 45 minutes of a very hilly power walk with a very good friend of mine. And it's funny, we started off the year socially distanced at one end of the lane to the other, and now we're kind of like, we're still socially distancing, but we're a little bit closer. But it's just been that real, A, fresh air, B, conversation, and C, no one needs me at that time, and I can just
decompress.
Yeah. A bit chilly this morning. We've had some interesting weather conditions, but it's just been Yeah, a real tonic.
Yeah,
Actually, a real
that's my,
tonic.
I have to say my dog's been a godsend
Yeah,
in that respect, because
yeah.
before I just didn't. At least now I do have to go out and get outdoors, and it's beautiful out there at the moment. Cold,
Mother
but
Nature.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I know someone said to me on my Strava the other day, you need a dog. And I was like, well, I'm kind of motivated enough to get out anyway, but yeah, I'll get back to you on that dog.
I
Yeah.
think if you're getting out anyway, you don't need the dog. I mean, I love my dog, but well, it's a whole other commitment.
Oh, he's gorgeous. Yeah, it's a conversation that we are beginning to have actually, but swimming is a big thing at the moment. So yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Right, are you ready for number 3?
I'll give it a go. Ready as I'll ever be, I suppose.
So this is one of the questions that was sent in, which is brilliant. So the question is, sometimes I get overwhelmed while I'm marketing my brand. How do you cope?
Well, can I just
Great
say,
question.
I'll start by saying I don't. No. Well, it's just hard. It's hard, that social media thing, which is predominantly how a lot of small businesses market their brands, is hard. I mean, I just constantly have this noise in my head that goes, you haven't posted to Instagram, or you should put something on Facebook. And so I get it, and I do get very overwhelmed. I find that taking positive action helps. So even if it's just do a thing, like just the one thing that will push your business forward today helps. Yeah. So just that taking positive action, and it doesn't have to be I change the world. It's just I've scheduled a post for tomorrow, or I just feel that just doing something helps, because I obviously I just speak from my personal experience, but I get overwhelmed and then I can't do anything. Then I just can't do anything. Then I'm just overwhelmed and I can't do anything. So I find that doing just one thing and just saying, okay, I'm just going to do this one thing helps. The other thing is, don't be afraid to take a break. Nobody's going to forget about your brand because you took a weekend off or a week or whatever. I think most of the time people don't even notice you've gone. So don't be afraid to give yourself a break. I know it's hard and you will have that internal debate, but and then it's hard to come back, because that happens to me all the time. I have a break. I'll often have an accidental break, and then I'm like, oh God, I don't know how to do this first post. So but yeah, don't be afraid to take the breaks. Take a break. Take positive action when you can and if you feel up to it. And what was my other one with overwhelm? I don't know. I've forgotten.
Comparison's a big, I feel comparison's a big thing. It's very easy to look at everybody else's account or everybody else's business or everybody else's blog or whatever it is they're doing and going, they've so got it nailed. They've got it nailed. They've worked it all out. But actually, if you speak to anybody, whether it's like, I don't know, the biggest brand out there or the tiny little corner shop, everyone has their own struggles, and it's very, very easy to think that everyone else has got it sorted. Well, actually, there are a lot of swans out there with their little feet,
absolutely.
Away, looking or feeling
I
that
would
they've got
say,
it.
And I speak to lots of small business owners, and I mean, unless you're a massive brand where you have a department that does it for you, everyone is struggling. And things look good, but it's you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I guarantee 99% of people are struggling, and but it's work. It's work, and it's part of the course, and it's not supposed to be easy, and when you are trying to market a brand that's yours as well, you have to do everything. You have to do all the jobs.
Oh my God,
so, just cut yourself some slack. And I think one of, going back to sort of lessons learned, I think increasingly I go through periods where I'll be okay for a few weeks and then I'm like, I'm completely overwhelmed, I can't do anything. But I'm learning to accept that it just ebbs and flows, and that's just part of life, really, and part of how you just think that if you're running your own business, or even if you're not, like, everything's self-generated. You have to take the energy, the motivation, the everything from yourself. All that energy has to come from you all of the time. So I think it's okay and to be expected that at some point you run out of steam.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, reset. You know,
but also it's not you know, as a I ran my own business for almost a decade. It's not just that. That's one aspect of who Antonia you are. You know, that's one hat that you wear, but you're also, you know, you're a wife, you're a mum, you're a sister, you're a daughter, you're all these different people. And it is very easy to kind of become, you know, quite not dragged down, but overwhelmed with
and
all
I
of
think,
the different hats that you're wearing.
I'm not taking away anything from our male counterparts, but
no.
You know, that kind of mental load and the invisible labour.
I'm breathing for you.
That is just, you know, that is a massive thing. And then on top of that, you're trying to possibly run your business, or you just go, you know, or you go to work full time. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I think it's okay to accept that, okay, like with me, every 2 or 3 weeks, I'm completely overwhelmed and it floors me for a few days. And you'll notice that I've disappeared from social media. But, you know, most is because there just isn't enough bandwidth to kind of do life, you know. And I think
is okay to drop the ball. Just if someone throws it at you, you don't have to catch it. But it's which ball do you catch? When do you catch? You know, it's all those things.
Yeah, and I think we're just caught up a bit in this world of perfectionism, and you think that being successful, being, you know, marketing your brand, which is going back to that question, looks a certain way, and you know, and that's fixed somehow, but it's not. You know, everything's changing, evolving. You market in different ways. You work differently in different seasons, and you know, I've got a horrible week this week, so. As in, like, lots of events. I mean, it will be lovely, but I just know it's going to be like flat out. And I've accepted that on Christmas Day I will just collapse, and that will be it, because we'll be working up until Christmas Eve. You know, and that's what this period is going to be like. And there's probably going to be overwhelm, exhaustion. But you know, but then I think then the lesson that I need to learn as well is that when the break comes, you take it. You know, and you do reset. So I'll let you know how I get on.
We've got your back. We've got your back. Actually, I was thinking about it really leads nicely into the mission that I've shared this week, which is, as you know, every week I share a new mission, and it can be anything from you know, well-being, mental health, you know, anything within the realms of Woman on a Mission. And this week's mission is all about, sometimes it's very, we're always told, see the bigger picture, see the bigger picture. But when you look at the bigger picture, sometimes you can overlook a lot of the things that you have actually achieved and you have actually done well. And I was reminded of this recently. You know me, I'm always on a mission.
Yes.
You know, and you have this expectation, going back to your initial, one of the answers you had initially about, you know, you imagine that you're going to be at this point at this time. And when you look back and reflect, it's not always the case. So have you failed? My response was, oh, God, I've not done very well there at all. I'm not on track, with this particular mission. And so today's mission, or this week's mission, is look at the smaller picture. You know, what has gone well? And when I was coaching my clients, we would always talk about, you know, the wins, the struggles, and the lessons. It's very easy to go, oh, I didn't get that target, I didn't get that sale, I didn't, negative. It's like, okay, put that to one side. What has gone well? All those little steps will get you to that mile. Once you've done that mile, just do a few more steps. Remind me of this next year when I'm doing my
music. I'm making notes.
So all the little tiny steps will actually get you to that next point. But sometimes in the confusion of life and all of the hats that we're wearing, we forget to stop and reflect and look back at those little tiny steps. Does that make any sense?
No, absolutely. And so
that's this week's mission, is look at the smaller picture, not the bigger picture.
I think that's a really great mission. And I think we're just under so much pressure in the world we live in now to live a certain way and for goals to be huge. you know, and everybody's, you know, either trying to make a business work or got a side hustle, or, you know, you want the bigger house, the better car, the, like, you know, whatever, you know, there's all pressure all the time for bigger, better, more. And so, like, I mean, one of the things I'm working on is, you know, I have this dream aspiration of what my business and my life will look like, which is part of the reason why I started my business, you know, for this like big picture perfect thing. But, you know, increasingly I'm like, well, what if we don't get to it? Then what? Then everything along the way's not been enjoyable, and it's just been overwhelm and work and stress. So it's that kind of, okay, work back in smaller steps. And, you know, and as I said earlier about this sales target that I set myself at the beginning of the year, and I, you know, I'm not 100% sure we're going to get there. I hope so. But then that's a very big thing. But in the meantime, lots of smaller things have happened this year. They've been incredibly positive for my business. And so to kind of feel down because of one big arbitrary goal that I set myself, that, you know, I can't let myself feel bad for this last year's work. So it's
quite often,
checking in, you know.
If you haven't reached a goal or a mission that you set yourself, quite often it's because other things have come along in the meantime that have actually, I'm a great believer in lots of things happen for a reason. Taking aside the pandemic, let's not go there about that one.
Yeah.
But you know, if you haven't reached that goal or that mission, other things have come on in that place, which actually is going to leapfrog the initial mission in the first place and get you to that goal, whether it be slightly slower, but things have happened because of that, which would in turn make it even better. Does that make
it does. No, that's what I was saying to you. I just feel like as a society, we just have these very set ideas of what success is, or, you know, what goals should look like. And it's like, you know, I think I find particularly in the space of women and social media, it's a lot of like, oh, my side hustle, and, you know, girl bossing, and, you know, all this kind of thing. And so then you just sort of absorb all of that, and you think, oh, I need to, you know, my goals need to be huge. I need to, you know, run an empire from my bed, because that's amazing, you know. You know, and I'm doing yoga and juicing, and but that's not real life. And it, you know, it's a pity. Sorry, my phone's on the move again. It's a pity to lose so much joy and so many things that you are doing well, because of these things that, you know, we're exposed to, that you invariably end up absorbing. So
absolutely,
that's my
and
bit
also
of philosophy.
what's that teaching our younger, God, I sound like granny now. What's that teaching our younger generation? You know, if we're like, oh, I'm busy, I'm hustling. Are you having fun yet? Am I exhausted?
Yeah, that's the challenge, isn't it? Just enjoying the journey.
We are rattling through these questions. It's amazing. So let's go on to the fourth question. 4 out of 5. And it leads nicely on, actually. What motivates and inspires you?
Oh,
it's so good seeing everyone. I'm seeing all these names pop up.
I know. Thank you for listening to our lunchtime ramblings. Chats, yes.
Join in the conversation, by the way. If you've got anything you want to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Join in.
I'm a bit rubbish at reading as I go along, but that's because I'm slow. Nothing else. Okay, so what motivates me is I do have a long-term dream and plan for my business. So getting there is important to me, but tied up in that is a lifestyle. So, you know, there's things like, you know, I want to be able to work from anywhere, and then that's a double-edged sword, I must say, because I do work from anywhere, but that means that you do end up working while you're on holiday and things like that. So
Tim Ferriss, have you read his book 4 Hour Work Week?
No, I haven't. I've got a couple like that. I haven't got time to read now, you know.
Well, I have.
But no, I will.
I ended up buying it on audiobook because I'm driving around a lot. That will help you. That will help you. The 4-hour work week.
But you know, I also, you know, my family live overseas, and you know, I'd like to spend a lot more time there. You know, my dad's getting older, you know, so so that motivation to have that freedom, like for me, my business is something I enjoy and I love and I nurture, but also ultimately it's got to give me a lifestyle and a freedom that, you know, I wouldn't otherwise have if I was, you know, employed doing a 9 to 5.
Yes.
So that's what really motivates me. I've also got 3 daughters, and I mean, they're not interested in what I do at all. They're like, whatever. They don't even want to come into the shop. They're lads. But
you wait till they go to university or wherever, or they have their own place. They'll be like,
yeah, well. But it's important to me as a mother of daughters, and from personal experience, I was always really like, oh, I can't do that, or that's not for me, or that's out of my reach. So I know I put a lot of barriers up for myself until I was really quite grown up. So I was in my 30s before I rolled the dice and took a chance on myself. So it's important for me.
Have you celebrated that?
Well, you know. But I feel that if there's one thing I can give my daughters, it's that I just want them to really know and believe that, you know, and it probably sounds a bit cliche, but that they can, you know, they deserve that space. They can occupy that space. They deserve that chance. They're as deserving and as able as anybody else. And I want that for them. And, you know, one of the ways I can do that is by modeling with what I do in my life and my business. So that's very motivating for me. And in terms of inspiration, I find other businesses really inspiring. You know, I know, you know, other women in business who are doing great things. My good friend Lauren, she runs Wear 'em Out pads. Well, she founded the brand, and it's reusable period pads, and I find her really inspirational. My friend Amber, she's the founder of Neon Mall, who some of you might know.
Oh my gosh, I love.
And like, you know, that business is 4 to 5 years old, and it's incredible. So I find other businesses very inspiring. There are times when you're not feeling good about yourself that you can be like, oh, I wish that was me, or I want that for me. But you know, you just have to do it with a lot of love. And you know, also it's okay that some days you feel rubbish about yourself or what you're doing or your job, but you know, just to keep surrounding yourself with those people and those images, and then, you know, and trust in the process.
That's what it all comes back to, isn't it? It's remembering your why.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
So on your down days, or the days where you're just like, it's going back to what motivates you and what inspires you. And what motivates you personally is following on your family and, you know, other incredible inspirational women out there. It's just, love it.
Yeah, I think there are some very impressive people out there, but always, you know, I think there's these small brands that have just, you know, done amazing things and, you know, are killing it, in my opinion. But you know, they're normal people as well, and they have insecurities and gripes and issues and problems. And you know, I think it's very easy to just become quite insular and think that all your problems are just yours, but you know, other successful people experience them too. So that's very inspiring to me. And obviously I love a good scroll through Pinterest. I like, you know, for me, I like visiting other shops, you know, just seeing what other people are doing. You know, just talking to other people, connecting.
I was gonna say, connection is so important, isn't it? I know we've got very used to kind of doing it like this, but connection is just keep talking, you know, because guaranteed if you're feeling a bit about business or being a mum or running a household or work or whatever, health, friendships, what have you, guaranteed there will be somebody else out there feeling exactly the same.
But it, you know, in those conversations, you often get those light bulb moments where you go,
Yeah.
oh, you know, so and so's tried this and it works really well. And you know, again, it can apply to health, to life, to you know, running your household, raising your kids, whatever. Yeah, having those conversations and making time for people, whether it's virtually or in real life, just really sparks that. You know, I find that it nearly always sparks something in me.
Yeah. That's why I love a good old walk and talk, because it's just, you know, you just have a slightly different perspective on things, you know?
Yeah.
Which brings me on to our last question. I'm loving this. This is fun.
I know, it's very enjoyable.
Sorry?
It's very enjoyable. A great way to spend a lunch hour, for sure.
So, what do you do to relax and unwind? We've talked about so far the story behind tailor-made living. You've brilliantly told us about your biggest lesson of the year, what motivates you, how you deal with overwhelm. So now we'd like to know, what do you do to relax and unwind?
Can I say wine?
Yeah.
I like getting outdoors. So I do love being out with my doggy. But I have to be strict and put my phone away. But yes. I love walking him in the woods. I find that, just feeds my soul.
If you haven't met, remind me of your dog's name.
Teddy.
If you haven't met Teddy, I'm loving all these hearts. This is fun. If you haven't met Teddy yet, go to Antonia's account. Oh, it's gorgeous.
He is cute.
It's gorgeous.
He is cute. He's spoiled, and he gives me all the love that my children don't want to give me anymore because they're teenagers. So,
what I love about dogs is you can leave the room, and whether it be 10 minutes or 10 seconds, they're still equally excited to see you again. It's just like,
I know. And it's that coming home and he's like, oh, I missed you. Whereas my girls don't even say hello. They're like,
my cat's just like, really?
I just find it's like, when you've got toddlers at home and they run to the door, it's a bit like that. So, but yeah, I love getting outdoors. So, you know, whether at the moment we walk in the woods, but the beach holds a very special place in my heart because, you know, born and bred by the sea. So yeah, that kind of getting outdoors, I really, really love it. And then, you know, then standard things like definitely glass of wine, scented candle, Netflix. It's not very mindful, you know, R&R, but it's all right, it works. And I tell you what, I'm going to sound really sad, but I actually really like cleaning my countertop. That's like my daily meditation. If my countertop's clean and smells nice, I'm like, feeling zen now.
Job done. Mrs. Hinch would be clapping her hands very well.
Oh, I think it's just that little tiny bit of life that I can control.
I agree. You know, for me, I like to have things neat and tidy. So if the countertop is cluttered and it's covered in stuff,
yes, I know.
Yeah. I know. So I think relaxing and unwinding has a lot to do with having a relaxed and comfortable place to be.
I agree. I mean, it sounds really silly, but I just find my surroundings really make a
massive difference.
Make a difference. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing I love more than everybody leaves the house and have a quick tidy, make a cup of tea, and then I start work. And it's like, it does. I mean, it does help my mental health, which is not I don't know, a bit ridiculous, really. But yeah, getting outdoors is the thing.
And you're not hurting anyone. Who's to say, you know, if that's, I think there'd be a lot of people at home nodding.
I mean, it's not relaxing and unwinding, but it does make me, you know, kind of start the day quite well. And then, you know, watching my little doggy chase squirrels is just priceless.
Can't beat it. You can't beat it. One final bonus question. You're about to leave the house. What can you not leave the house without doing? So for me, if I'm about to leave the house and I haven't put perfume on, this is weird, I have to go back and put perfume on. It's kind of like finishing me off. Finishing me off? That sounds terrible. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so for me, I can't leave the house unless I just put a little bit of perfume on. In the morning, it's not every time I leave the house.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, maybe lip balm.
Lip balm.
Lip balm, maybe.
Your lip balm is on my desktop.
Thank you. I like the I'm using the lime and mint at the moment. That's very nice. That's really nice. Yeah, I think I don't leave without lip balm. At the moment, I can't leave without.
Oh, say that again.
Oh, yeah. So lip balm, sorry, and at the moment, I can't leave home without. Yeah, I've got somebody was trying to ring me. I should have turned off. Anyway.
No, I didn't do it.
I've got Raynaud's syndrome, so I get very, very cold hands. So I have to leave with gloves. But other than that, I'm out the door.
Antonia, you have been an absolute gem. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Claire.
I could talk to you all day. I really could. But I'm going to save this so that anyone that's missed it, because they're not on their lunchtime at a certain time, they can watch it back. But thank you so much. 5 questions.
Thank you, Claire. Thanks for having me.
Finding out a little bit more about your account and finding out, what makes you tick, what you enjoy, what helps you to unwind, and what helps you to get rid of overwhelm.
Oh, bless you, Claire. Thank you. And thanks everyone who joined.
Yes, thank you so much for everyone that's joined. And we're really grateful. Come back for another one.
Yes. When's your next one, Claire?
My next one, thank you. My next one is on Friday at 2 o'clock with Georgina from DKMS. So we're going to be talking about what DKMS is and why they're so important and why I have dedicated my 50th year to raising 50k.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible, Claire. You're going to do it.
Probably a little bit silly, but you know,
why not?
At the beginning, little steps, we'll get there.
That's it.
If I think about it all in one go, I just
it's overwhelming.
It's a really good idea, but I was thinking about it. But
you're going to do it.
So that's Friday, 2 o'clock.
Oh, thanks, Claire. I look forward to tuning in.
Tune in.
Yay!
Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much for everyone that's been listening and watching and what have you. And we will, speak to you very soon.
Have a great week. Thanks again.
And you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.